Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hope you guys are doing well. It is Thursday, so the weekend is almost here. Time to get with your friends, get with your loved ones, get your weekday tasks done, whatever it is that you have on your calendar is probably somewhere cold. So keep bundled, stay warmed up, but appreciate you guys for coming back as always. If you guys do not know where you are on Mood Travel Abroad podcast. What that is for you, the person that is looking to move abroad in 2026 or beyond, is the way to get connected to all of the resources. What resources? The ones you know you need, the ones that you already have at the top of your mind: immigration, housing, um, healthcare. These things are easy to remember when you are running out of the burning house that is America. But oftentimes, what we do outside of just connecting you to said resources is actually get a little deeper. Get a little deeper because the move abroad is not just your average typical move. You need a little bit more than you actually are giving yourself credit or you actually remember that you need. And tonight's conversation is definitely another nuance that goes into moving abroad, which is community. A lot of people in the United States realize or feel that everything is kind of one way, solo, hyper individualistic, me and mine's, and that's all it is. However, when you move abroad and look to unplug from United States life, what you find is an opportunity. Community is there, but the opportunity lies in with you in order to get connected to the community, play nicely with others at this big age. So tonight we're back with some, once again, real talk with somebody you might know if you've been familiar to this platform, and if not, we're going to get into introductions already. Once we get into our topic, which is community, how to build it. What do you need to be prepared for before you go and sell all your stuff? And once you get on ground, how do you navigate the different opportunities, both local people as well as expats? So, if you guys aren't the person or are still the person and you do know somebody else that is looking to move abroad in this year or going forward, do me a favor, share this live wherever it is you are, because people need to hear more of the real talk behind relocation versus some of the fluff that gets in. My name is RJ Mood. I'm originally from Philadelphia. I have been living abroad for the last going on 3 years. However, I spent a lot of specific time, not just vacation time, in the destination I am in, which is Medellín, Colombia. Tonight we have here on the pod Michelee Horsley. Michelee, if you guys don't know, is not only a fellow expat, a fellow person that's in America. I'm good off of y'all right now and probably moving forward. But she also is somebody that when you get down here to Medellin, you will meet as far as impacting the community in a positive way. So without further ado, Michelee, can you say something to the people? Because we're going to have a good conversation tonight.
As always, my brother, good to be in your company. But yeah, I'm Michelee from LA. Like RJ said, I've been here in Medellin for I've been here 4 years now. Time is flying. Actually, this month made 4 years exactly. So um yeah, I've been here for 4 years. 13th year abroad. Middle of the year be going on my 14th year. So I this is a great topic to talk about, to have is because community is such an important thing. Like we have community usually, most of us I think have community before we make that move abroad. Wherever you are, it's like it's good to have community. Just our species, we're born into community, right? So, how we socialize and stuff, people keep you grounded. You want to be used to a few things, you know what I mean, a little sense of something familiar.
Yep.
So, a lot of times we come to places like Colombia, as great as it is. I do pretty good speaking Spanish, but like sometimes my brain is hurting, and sometimes I want to be around some people, who are familiar with what my references, and I just want to feel that kind of comfort or whatever. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think it's a good topic to have. I mean, to talk about building community and how we do that. How you sustain that. It's some, yeah.
Right, how to do it. And I always start people with something that they can remember about community, especially in our community, because growing up, when grandma, great grandma was alive, everybody was always around, the block parties, the cousins hangout, the aunties, the uncles,
Yes.
and as time went on, things changed. People passed, and I wouldn't say everyone, but a number of people know what I'm talking about. Everybody doesn't get together as much anymore. The occasions are becoming fewer and far between, and it's not something that is high on everybody's radar. Not because they don't want to, because you remember you said, we're here. Humans are here to be with each other. Excuse me.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget that because in America, it's such a focus on I have to make money just to survive. Never mind even thrive. I just need to make money to survive. So when you're navigating, when you have free time to hang out with your friends, hang out with your loved ones, put something on the grill, even the cost of putting something on the grill and just saying, just come
I'm
over. It's like,
telling
man, I'm gonna need you to bring a
you.
little bit more than the old school cookout because these things are relevant within everything that everybody is going on and dealing with in the United States. Yet when you move abroad, it's probably not on the top of your head that maybe some of the things that you miss are still going on over here because I don't think that's really good widely advertised as much as it should be.
Hmm.
So, looking at it, it's how do we put ourselves in a position not only to one, you and I, people that are doing these kind of things on ground, and open the doors to others, but how do we get them even ready? Because you and I have been, specifically in Colombia, long enough to see people that weren't ready to be a part of community. And somebody like yourself is more a unique person than the average person that is looking to move abroad now because you mentioned you've been gone for 13 years. So I
Hmm.
can only imagine 13 years ago what kind of intent you had to navigate with in search of community. Talk to me about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it changes even place to place. I was in the Middle East before here. I was in a couple countries in Africa before that, so in doing different things. Like I started out as, teaching. So teaching in an international school, more than likely, you're gonna have some form of community there, coworkers, other foreigners and locals and things like that. So, you learn you kind of I think automatically get community in some situations. But yeah, you have to be intentional. Like the things that I do here, like we've had cookouts, you know what I mean? I've hosted cookout, get together, paint and sip, just some type of gathering. We do karaoke and game nights and stuff like that, right? Or just plain kickbacks at somebody's house, you know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I've hosted and attended others. But yeah, all of this stuff, I think we do have to be intentional. Now, what one thing I think, to be realistic, like one thing that we have to be aware of, you don't know why people are moving sometimes. So sometimes people do have demons that they ain't necessarily settle back at home and they bring that same mess with them. That's anywhere. You know what I mean? People do that city to city, state to state, even if you haven't left, your continent, your country. But
Hmm.
I think if you're intentional, we you can't always help the people around, you know what I mean, like everybody around you or whatever. You just go on with the best intentions, you know what I mean, with the energy that you're contributing, and we end up attracting like spirits, and you know what I mean. You find your tribe. I stand by that. Like you get to find your tribe. I met so many cool people, so many people like to just collaborate on people collaborate with people that like inspire me. Oh, are you here? Okay. People that inspire me and encourage me and vice versa, right? Like I see the talents, the gifts in other people and just how dope we are around the world. And sometimes without traveling, without stepping outside of your comfort zone, you don't even meet all the people you're supposed to meet in your life, right? Like all of these people that will be on your path. in support of where you're going. Like I I I really encourage everybody to just kind of step out there. So some of the things that I do too, like I said, I've hosted events and attended different events and stuff here and other places that I lived. But other things that I'll do, like for example, this weekend I have a sewing club that I started, and and I do different types of like manual crafts and stuff like that. Like I'm a crafty girl, and so I like to attract other crafty people, and that's one thing
Mhm.
that I found a lot here. Locals too. A lot of my local friends are creatives as well. But like I like to offer my talents and my skills. Other people want to learn from me, or we do the things together. You know what I mean? Like that is one way you can make community or find community, is finding interests, common interests. So I think that's the easy
Michelee.
one.
Most of these people don't even have the time to remember what their hobbies was and what they like to were and what they like to do. And that's why I always tell them, like, hey, remember, you're a person. Remember that you want to, you're looking for a transformation. So with breaking out of the matrix, the American rat race, you do have a little bit of opportunity to just ask, what do you want? What do you like? And so many people are unlocking the ability to get that. But the illusion of it all, the illusion of relocating, the illusion of working well with others, and even speaking about it in community terms is, I feel like something that can be positioned one way with the things that we're seeing on the internet, and then when you're on the ground, you see something a little bit different. So, well, let me ask you, when you first moved abroad, I know it was one way, but what do you think now are some of the biggest misconceptions about what actually leaving the United States is and looks like on ground versus the making it seem so sexy and viral when people aren't realizing what it actually takes to succeed?
Um, I don't know. I think it's a number of things, like especially around our age. So I moved when I was obviously, a lot younger. So I moved like early 20s, and I don't have any, I don't have any children with me. I don't have
Mm,
any of like really huge responsibilities other than myself, right? So I think a lot of what I'm seeing, a lot of our peers do have children or have families, and it's more things to figure out. So they do need more security and stuff. Like things are changing, even international politics. We're escaping that craziness back there,
it's
but the
coming
stuff
right.
still affects us. Yeah, it still affects us. Like things going on now, it wasn't that complicated back then. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it might be a little, some of those the politics kind of affect where you're going. I mean, literally from here, you see how some situations affect how, like people are getting visas and not and being rejected at the same time.
Hmm.
You see other countries visa policies and stuff changing, like they're turning people away. Some of those things a lot of people I think need to worry about a lot more. It's things that I'm having to think about more now that I didn't have to worry about before. I still don't have children, but it's like, I'm just thinking about how, my next moves. I'm always trying to think ahead a little bit, like what my next move will be, and what I need to
Hmm.
do to achieve that. But yeah, I think really it is first, like me and Rotisha, always talk about, like it's mentality and stuff. Preparing yourself mentally and emotionally, being ready to kind of cleanse, let go of things. You know what I mean? Like one of the first things I did was become more of a minimalist. Now you look around my house now, I've been here 4 years, so I've accumulated some things.
A
Okay.
number of things. It crept
I'm
back
a
on you, the
maker.
hoarder spirit.
So I got my home is my art studio, it's my workshop, it's my everything, so I can accumulate some things where I'm not such a minimalist. But I think that just the release, I don't have to keep everything that I have, though. You know what I mean? I'm easy to
Yeah.
release things, like, hey, I don't need this. Like if I'm ready to go, it's time to go. I'm not sitting there like, oh, I can't leave because I have things. You know what I mean? I think that
Hmm.
first, that mentality of being able to detach from the material things. Literally, I'm about to buy another sewing machine,
Mm.
And some people just think like, oh, what am I going to do? Just simple things like that. If I do this thing at home and I have these tools and stuff, it's like, do you know that they sell sewing machines, and they sell all the things
They want
other
to bring
places too,
every
what I mean?
trinket,
But
every little
I'm like,
memento.
I love my some things that I get the attachment to some things. I think it's also, trauma, like attached, people don't, it's neglect and all kind of stuff that people are not really, dealing with. That's again a part of that emotional work and things like that we have to deal with beforehand, because I think if we do deal with that, then we do have a better chance at releasing some of those physical, it's all it is physical representations of the things that we don't want to let go. It's a symbol,
I'm gonna
But
tell you
yeah,
what
I'm
it
like,
is, though.
once I got over that, I was just like, it's easy.
That's the thing, though. So in the United States, you mentioned the things that we have, and when you go to move abroad, a lot of people aren't ready to take on the daunting task of cutting the cord. And I mean cord by cords. I mean anchor by anchors. There are so many things that are actually keeping you in America. Now you might have four or five things. You say, okay, I got a car, a house, I got family, and you say, oh, those three things are at my top. But then when you actually go to cut it, there's so much more. There's all of the things you mentioned, like you said, you've accumulated. And the reason why that is important to look at is because in America, we have definitely been taught like buy stuff. When you get it,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to equal happiness. And it does temporarily. When you buy a new fit and you put it on, and the first time they see you, and you say, you look sharp, you get a
Right.
little dopamine rush, but you're not going to wear that every day. So you can't just
I'm
do
telling
that.
you.
And you're going to always be chasing that. You get a new car. I remember the first time I got my dream car. I had this car on my phone all of college, and I was able to buy it. And maybe after a week or two, I'm like, this car is just a car. It gets you from here to there and there to here. And it's just like, well, what's next? So when you talk
Mm.
about what do you take, that's another thing that a lot of people don't even grasp with them when looking to move abroad because you have so much stuff. I tell people the
Now,
reason
can
they
I?
put that hoarders on is because they trying to make it seem easy on us.
So so even on that, and circling back to the main topic, about community and who and what you're surrounding yourself with. A lot of times when you're in the destination, back in the States, depending on what city, where you are, there are other people, what I mean, keeping up with the Joneses. People feel like they have to keep up with what everybody else have, with the fashions and with the this and the that, the cars and all the things you have to have, right? And so you're all of that money, people be worrying about like, oh, well, how much money do I need to move abroad? And if you ain't spending all that money on the stuff that you don't actually need, like feeling pressured to buy this and that, because you see somebody else with it, or that's what you're expected to have, you will have more than enough money to move abroad. You know what I mean? So I think
I
that's a
will
big
say that it's changing a little bit though. I will say that, and that's the thing some people need to realize and what community can help you with, because
part. Hmm.
community isn't the guy that's looking to make a video to go viral to tell you how cheap it is. You may not want to be in a scenario just because it's cheap. T-Series always go, chasing cheap. And I'm like, that is
Right,
maybe
right.
not be what's designed for you. Now I know you may be looking for a financial break and everything else, but keeping up with the Joneses, doing it for the gram, you can spend just as much money as you are in the United States, if not more, just trying to put on for people because of your value set and everything else. But then when you look in a community, you have to take in, being able to share, ideas, bounce ideas off. Even when things get a little weird in Colombia or they were saying some things, people were bouncing ideas off of each other in the community about what other places or where would it make sense if there was a plan C or plan B.
Mhm.
Um, the cost of things. I know when I moved here, just not even 5 years ago, 3 years ago, it did not cost as much as it costs to get the
I
digital
know.
nomad visa. It cost me
Yeah.
for two people less than it costs for one person these days. which is absolutely insane in just 3 years. So when you talk about what community's value to you could be if you are open to it and doing it the right way, is not having to navigate this ever-changing relocation journey, whether it is visas, passport, the dollar going up and down, and how to navigate what that looks like. A lot of people don't realize that our community and the community is the lifeline to whether or not you decide to go back home a lot of times.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. Most
Let
definitely.
me
It
ask
is
you.
insane though, the
Okay.
how things have changed in such a short amount of time.
It's moving faster than we can anticipate it, which is why I don't recommend. I don't navigate this by myself. I am not an expert of all things. I am just a connector of many things, and that's why I'm
Mm,
like working with not only in the community to make certain that when you are going to get a visa or you're even just trying to get practical information, it's best to see if somebody else already navigated it versus you trying to figure it all out by yourself, because you and I have also seen what that looks like. People trying to figure it
mhm,
out and then ending up completely in a rut down here and in other places, especially in the expat chats, the anonymous member.
mhm,
Let me ask you this, because I know you've been very intentful, not only outside of Colombia, but here as well, regarding integrating locally in the community. Talk to me about that, because I know you've got a number of initiatives that you have embarked on since you've moved down here that span not only being the creative guru in the community down here, but also working with locals to be able to, positively impact the communities that we've become a part of.
mhm. I mean, well, like you know, I tend to be a connector as well. Just getting in, literally just following things that I am naturally into and have been into. I like giving back. It's a big part of like who I am and what I do. Um, and I've been doing it, since I can remember. So I always figure out ways like different organizations who are already doing the work. I have started some things on my own, different initiatives and stuff on my own, because maybe there are specific things that I want to contribute to or that I want to do. For example, like starting an art camp here or something like that. Like
Hmm.
it wasn't something I thought existed, and that's what I wanted to create. The workshops and stuff that I do, it wasn't something the specific things that I want to do and how I want to do it, I didn't see existing, right? And so I created it.
Right.
However, there are many things that already exist. It's so many different ways, and I to give back, to be a part of community, to do things. I think that positively add to your experience and the experience of others, right? I think that we also have to be really conscious. We've talked about this multiple times. The fact that when we relocate to another place, we are a part of the gentrification and all of this stuff that happens. If we know what that feels like and how that affects us and how that affects people, the economy and all that stuff, for people when it happens to us in our hometowns, we should understand what that does in other countries as well. I mean, you can, maybe you're not thinking about it, right? You're just thinking about escaping the plantation. But once we're here, we realize though that we do have we're leaving some type of footprint, right? And so I think that when it comes to us as expats specifically, that whole thing about giving back is even more important. I want to like, I love that we're doing these initiatives where we're doing a give back opportunity, a volunteer opportunity, at least once a month, right? Like, and bringing other people from the community with us to do that, because we also get to like write our own narrative instead
Yeah.
of letting the ones who be loud and doing everything crazy and wrong. We don't want to let them be the ones that are, telling us like this is what Black Americans do. This is what they, so if we
Hmm.
show up doing something positive, giving back, I think that's also making it really good for us, like showing that we care, we want to be a part of community, we care about the footprint that we're leaving wherever we are, like we're building community. I think it makes it's smart because it feels safer. You know what I mean? You got people that's on your side instead of just like, who's that? What they, what they don't know what our motives are unless we state them. And we,
Mhm.
the same way, same things go both ways. So I think it's a good way to like lead into like building community. It's give a way by giving back. Um, and I do want to mention though, real quick, because some people, I try to warn people too, because I'm not new to this. All right. So in different places now, because a lot of times now, this is not even unrelated to service or anything, but like it can be literally walking down the street or in a restaurant when we tip and stuff, and you tipping something like crazy. People be like, is $10 too much for a tip? And I'll be like, they give them $10 because they think like it's small. But I'm like, why
Mhm.
would you like, come on now? Like you don't do that,
That's
okay? But it's like some people though, they don't understand how you don't want to do something like that, right? Like you there's an understanding, like you can talk to people and figure out what's normal, what's reasonable to tip and stuff like that. But yes, some people also think, oh, because it's not a lot, like for us, or whatever, they end up being looked at as like a cash cow. So that's something that
hmm.
you can run into as well. And it's like, I mean, for me, it feel like common sense, but I understand that's not always common sense. So I try to warn people like, hey, before you just, it's not about giving, giving, giving. So like a lot of the initiatives that I do, it's more so like teaching or giving something that like you can reuse and produce for yourself. So I like to teach how to fish versus just giving fish. Like I can run out of fish, okay? How I'm gonna help you and I need the fish too, okay? Like so I like that's my particular, that's one thing that I like to do, and I feel like it's a good way, and it's sustainable for me. I can teach you something and teach you skills and give you like an experience or whatever. That's not taking so much, because I do understand that sometimes people, they start off with one idea like, oh, $20 here wasn't bad, but then you got somebody calling you like, oh, well, can I have $200? My baby and my family can't eat and this and that. We need a dress for this event and we need a this and this for this. And can you pay for it? People, and then now you don't want to give nothing at all because now you don't feel taken advantage of. So it's like there are things that can happen. So we do want to be aware, and I think that just comes with the like cultural awareness, like talking to people. That's where the community
Yeah,
comes in, because some people have already experienced certain things or know how things go, and they can kind of like put you on game, right? So you're not starting from scratch, you're not just getting got like wherever you turn. So yeah, so listen, all of this still goes back to community. This is why community is important.
nah, you're for real, because I think a lot of people, no matter who you are, most of us aren't the rich, bourgeois. And I say that is because, you're probably just in the United States making it, doing what you got to do. And when you go to a place like Colombia, I had a comment today, and they were like, Mexico is cheaper than in Colombia, right? And I'm like, no, I don't know who told you that, but that's what people will think. And then you go to a place like Colombia where it's 3,000 plus, almost 4,000 to $1, and you go there, and now the money that you have goes so much further, and you know what it feels like to feel like, man, if somebody came and blessed me, it would just mean the world to me. And I get that feeling. And what you're talking about is people saying, oh, well, I'm used to paying $10 or $20 for something, so I'm going to go pay this in tip, in a place where that can start staggering the market to where you go to places that either one, not much cheaper, you might as well be spending as if you were in the United States, or two, are more expensive than the United States, and you say, wow, I can't go there. Not realizing that you go to places like Colombia and or Mexico and or other places that are cheaper, and you take what I would call the trauma as well as the expectations of what America's put you through. And now you're like, well, I can afford now to give $10, $15. And it's like, that may be extremely outrageous as far as a tip goes, and not realizing that that one thing sets a ripple off, and it's being wise and conscious and working within the community of, hey, let me ask you guys a question. Who all been here long enough to know what I should tip, and if I should tip all of the time, and if I do should tip all of the time, what is customary? Because in places in the United States, 20, 30, 40% can be customary, whereas in Colombia, those things are unheard of. So
Mm-hmm.
never mind even isolating it to Colombia. It's just more so because I don't know who you are and where you may be looking to. This conversation is not for just Colombia. We can always say
Right.
what we're doing down here. It's more so wherever it is that you go. These are tips, tools, and resources that you're going to need to play well with others, to play well with the local community, to where you don't come off as a colonizer and you're like, how can I be a colonizer? I've been gentrified all my life. I've been behind the eight ball all my life. I don't have a lot of money. Yet, one thing for sure, I see so many Americans get on the other side and things they be treated a little different. And then now they might as well be what do you call it? Davy Crockett, the great American. It's just like this is the most interesting thing, and so many people when running out of the United States don't realize that yes, I understand being under duress or feeling like you're under duress, but one, there are enough people in the top expat destinations where the community already exists without you, the person that is in the United States. The community is already going on. The people are already eating together, going to hang out on the weekends and things of that nature. So you're not going to probably start anything new in
Mm-hmm.
2026. So, with that being said, how do you navigate working well with others? Michelee mentioned not only doing her own thing and putting passion into projects that she wanted to do, but meeting other people in this journey that you can't be no Drake with no new friends because you won't get anywhere. Never mind, enjoy what you're actually saying you're signing up to do. I think about the number of times you and I and the people down here have gone on to restaurants, and you guys don't know Michelee like I do, but if Michelee puts a restaurant on her story or post it or just happen to come in contact with her and she recommends a restaurant, go. It's just going to be good. You're going to have a great time and everything else. And so many people have been on the positive other side of Michelee's recommendations, Michelee's craft workshops. The things that we're
Yeah.
doing down here are trying to foster the community not only that is here and give us the people on ground things to do with each other, but create an opportunity for the people that are looking to move. I get a lot of people that are like, "You're going to be doing that in April." Hey,
Yeah.
if the people continue to show up for the things that we have, we will definitely continue to do it. We want to make certain that though, when you guys do come, regardless of events or just playing well with others in the group chats and on Facebook, being being nice. I don't want to say nice, but being being somebody that can work well within the community. The
Yeah.
opportunity to build with each other on the other side of the TSA is personally bigger than any opportunity I've seen in the United States in
Yes.
2025 and in 2024 and 2026 because we get together a lot of times and like let's just go, let's just do it,
Right. Right.
let's just hang out,
And
and a lot
things
of
can
people miss that.
flow. Think let things flow too, like I said, sometimes people, just to be honest, sometimes people are jerks. A lot of times, like a more honest, transparent part of this conversation too. Like I said, you don't know where other people come from and what they're like back home and why they're not there. You don't know, are they running away from somewhere? Did they get ran up out of somewhere? Or did they not have a
Mm,
choice but to go somewhere else because they ruined it with everybody else they know back home? Who knows? But the reality is, you won't mesh with everybody. I've had my share of experiences, and like as a person who was able to avoid all kinds of drama in high school. I ain't never been in no like high school beef and all, you know what I mean, like that kind of stuff. For some things to kind of find me in adulthood is, it's kind of crazy, but it's the reality. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's how you handle it. It's the reality that like you can't always control other people around you. It's life lessons that I've had to learn. Like, you can't make community with everybody. You have some people who will be, well, like I said, a very positive part of meeting people, especially like while traveling and abroad. You meet all of these dope people and people who see how dope you are and want to encourage you and uplift you. I get people that's like always validating, like you. I get people that's always, validating and sharing things that I do, and like, toot my horn a little bit. But you, on the other end, you get some people that's like kind of hating. You know what I mean? You sometimes they not bold enough to say it out loud, but then sometimes, people want to start mess. Some people are messy. They've been messy before they came here. And so that, you see that in, I
Newsflash.
mean, some of the worst ones, we have chat groups and stuff now, where it's a lot of good information being shared, is community being built in there. Like you said, people share, has anybody known about this or had this experience or whatever, to saving people's lives, right? Like calling emergency line when the person is having an emergency and they didn't know who to call and what to do. So it's a lot of positive things on that side, but like there are also, I think, um it's negative parts of it too, right? Things that are just there, things that exist. But I always say, like, don't entertain it, don't add to it. You know what I mean? I have my moments where I'm not, I'm still growing, okay? So I'm
Nah,
like, it's like I'm not a person that just like I don't react like that. And honestly, when I'm if you cross me, I'm just I'll walk by you. Might as well be named Casper, okay? We don't have that. I don't You don't exist anymore. Like that's just how I personally like handle things sometimes. I'm always be like cordial enough, but I'm not going out of my way to be, to play friendly with somebody who's crossed me or treated me poorly. But you get people who are sometimes confrontational. You get people who like to feed into drama and stuff like that, right? Like it's Facebook groups. Oh my goodness, I know you've seen like the expats in Medellin, and it has to be one a group that was like that had to branch off and like the non-jerks because there are a lot of jerks. You get people that ask like an innocent question, and you get people that's just like jumping on them, right? So it's the same mess that you can find back home. You can find mess that people bring with them, right? Like they pack it in that bag with them too. So unfortunately, things like that exist, but that's part of human nature as well. So we want to be like transparent that everything is not all, perfect and glamorous all the time, but it's like still, I think it's an opportunity for you to just maybe you're a reactionary at home. You don't even first of all, if you pop off, if you the type of person to pop off, you don't want to be locked up in abroad, okay? So you should
locked up
be thinking about
abroad.
how you conduct yourself. You ain't got to confront every person, every issue, but that's just like a very real part of it as well, because I'm like it baffles me still like that things have found me, and I'm like, as non-problematic as I be trying to be, like I just be trying to.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you what it is, and I sat with it because I was definitely at the question mark phase of this. And the people that are listening that have not moved abroad, pay attention. So a lot of the reason and what you're describing and the people not gelling not only with each other and but with the community. And don't get me wrong, because everybody just can't be your cup of tea. You're not a
Mhm.
people pleaser. You don't need to be. Nobody's asking you to do that. But a lot of people don't adhere to some of the things that we say on this podcast, which is the work the work that you
Mhm.
need to do. One, there's work that you need to do, which is asking yourself, what the hell is it that you want? No, I know you got a very straightforward lifestyle in the United States, but maybe you have a completely different lifestyle. So if you had
Right.
I had a Narnia, what is it that you want? What are you looking to leave, and what are you looking for? A lot of people
Mhm.
will rush past that and just buy the ticket. So when you talk about that right there, that's a lot of the reason why. One, people are coming and are coming so fragmented and so beat up with everything. Another reason why is because they aren't and don't have their drawbridges low enough. Your drawbridge has to be low. America makes sure your drawbridge is extremely high. Don't let nobody in. Don't let anybody in. But when you go to move abroad, you don't realize that wherever destination you choose, you are literally asking a country to let you into it. You may have never been in that position before in the United States. You may go into all 50 states and territories that they claim. But when you go and you move abroad, you say, I want to go to this destination, you're saying, hey, can you let me stay here for longer than a vacation time? And not realizing that comes with some, I would say, reflection, to be honest with you, and saying, okay, I have to be humble enough to realize that I'm asking to be somewhere. So within that humility comes some sort of understanding and what should be anti-arrogance and I don't know everything. And so it's a layered approach to why you will get into communities and you say, I didn't come all the way over here to still be doing the things I could be in the United States, yet here we are with some of these things. It's because nobody did the work. And I would say not only people that are just moving, but the work is a continuous thing. It's not the one-time work. You still have to do the work. It's something on the TV every day to make you a little agitated about what's going on. So the work of still wanting to, commune with others is definitely something that I think, whether long term or you just got out here or looking to get out here, is you really have to be intentful about it because I see what you talk about, and I can only speak on the things that are in Colombia, but it is what it is because I realized that a lot of people weren't ready for the weight of America to be off of them because they really didn't know who they would become the people that they have
Hmm.
become are not actually the people that they're portraying themselves to be. This is facts.
Hmm.
That's why I do what I do and we do what we do, which is where can I meet you at other than before you book your ticket with some of these real talk conversations that says, yo, you can get into some of these communities, be messy as hell. You said high school, you said, we went to school in Atlanta and feel like you back in college in Atlanta.
Right.
But that's because
Right.
these people didn't come with the right intent. They didn't have
Right.
these conversations. They didn't look at themselves in the mirror and say, what the hell do I want out of life? Do I want to stay in this bubble in this lane? Or do I want to be in a position where I can grow with maybe somebody that I didn't know, but we have so much things in common versus let me just keep the same old BS that people will say it got me here, but when you say it got you here, it got you willing to give up everything you learned in America and loved in America to be away from all of that. Yet you're still trying to be that same exact person here on the other side of the TSA, and I don't understand it, and I know exactly what you mean. So take heed to what Michelee just said, and because you could be the person that nobody likes down here
Yeah.
because of what you didn't do before you actually moved.
Yeah. I mean, and then just like again, all of these things, like things don't magically disappear because you move to another place. So some people just got issues, and that don't mean that. Like it makes it feels like you kind of came into a fishbowl or something. Like you think because we come in like other places are even it's a even smaller expat community right
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
here in Medellin especially, um in different cities in Colombia. Like for example, I was just in Santa Marta, and I go out there to host events, and I do hair out there, you know what I mean? So I see that there's community and stuff building in Santa Marta. There are people, there are expats, there are other, whatever, in different cities. A lot of them are not as active and not as large as the ones here in Medellin. I've lived in
Hmm.
other countries where the expat community, in that city or in that country, whatever, it's not that large. So I think there is a wanting or like an expectation to be able to be like get along with everybody. And that just might not be just naturally how is set up. You know what I mean? Like you said, you're not meant to gel with everybody. And that's
Hmm.
okay. I think that's okay. You know what I mean? But you just don't want to be a part of like contributing to any negativity.
You
I
shouldn't
think
have
that's
no
the main.
beef out here in the
Right.
international streets. Real talk. Like you should not have any beef. Like leave the beef over. Like there is enough going on in the world
I'm
where you
telling
would
you.
be surprised people that want to just argue. And that's why I'm like the reflectiveness of what we try to talk about, the like looking in the mirror, figuring out what the hell you want. Not only just out of relocation, but where you are, what do you want? What do you want your kids to have? Whatever it is that your individual nuance, but make sure you check it. Make sure
Mhm.
you check it because you are going to be challenged. There's not going to be somebody you like. And if you think that arguing over in WhatsApp groups or getting into international beefs because you didn't realize that got a lot of issues with you that you haven't worked out. That's why I'm like, you can start these things now and they're free. People are saying the cost of relocation going up, and it's like the cost of making you a better person before you think you're gonna go be better automatically just because you living the Spain life or living in Colombia or living in Mexico, wherever it is. It's an illusion. We see it every day. These people are not okay. They did not do the work before they got here. And it's not isolated to us. It's 1,000 groups. It's just more so
Mhm.
we're at a point where so many people, and I told somebody else this the other day, Mr. Like, you left 13 years ago from the United States. I left just a lonely 3 full-time years ago. And you know what is
Mhm.
crazy? I wasn't running out of the United States. I just left. I just
Yeah.
left. That was it.
Right.
I was like, this doesn't work for me anymore, so I'm out. You know what I mean? Where now people are like, the water is getting too high. I can't afford to live here. I can't afford to retire here. This isn't safe anymore. I can't eat the food anymore. These are like so many things that are all thrust on them at one time, and it's like I'll just figure it out when I get there. And I'm like, you will be back where you
Mhm.
are when you don't get along with anybody and nobody you're isolated even though everybody's moving around you within community with each other. You could
Yeah.
feel even more mental stress than you think you do because now you're in a place where the culture is different, the language is different.
Yeah.
Even the people that know the same things as you don't want to be around you. So you went from lonely with everything that you were comfortable with to lonely and being completely uncomfortable. And those two things are so vastly different that I don't think a lot of people realize. It's okay to stay home. I've gotten to that point of relocation to make certain that people know that I will tell you to stay home if you
Yeah.
aren't ready to do what Michelee
Right.
and I are talking about as far as
I'm
being
telling
a part
you,
of community.
it's not for everybody. I think that's the thing too, because it's looking real sexy, especially because of chaos that's going on. People are like, I need to jump ship, right? Whereas we left earlier, we kind of like we saw things crumbling. Like that's the way that things are there. You know, what I mean? Various reasons, however people come to wanting to make that move right now. It just seemed like it's so heavy, it's so thick. You talk to people just like on some regular stuff, and that kind of thing is coming up because I mean it's so relevant right now, right? It's just
Yep.
insanity. So a lot of people are like such in a rush to go, and it's like, for one, they're rushing and not having all of the information that they need. You know what I mean? Like it takes some serious consideration and what you need, what you're looking for, because you run somewhere and you ain't done no kind of research, you ain't got no kind of help,
Run right
and
into
you
a brick
find out that
wall.
place is not for you. Like, you can't be a hot girl and go in Saudi Arabia. Like, that's not going to be a place you should go. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I
you
saw
gonna have to
somebody try to
figure
pull
out.
that one.
You can't be like, oh, well, they so messed up in this country, and I had a horrible. Like, you should have known where you were going, like before you went there, right? So some things just got to be common sense, like that, right? Like, of kind of being prepared. But yeah, I think it's looking real sexy because it's a lot of us who are traveling. It's a lot of travel influencers. Like, we make it look good. I live a beautiful life over here. You know what I mean? I do share that. And a lot of people ask me, and I'm like, yeah, this is really my life, right? But that don't mean that it's gonna automatically be yours. It could be, but maybe you have a little more baggage or a little more like things to consider, things to give up before you are, you can't just come and expect to have somebody else's life. I
I
think that
think
is
that's
a
what's
thing
getting
that
sold these
everybody is
days.
not ready. Everybody is not ready for that type of move. You get so many people that ran back, and like, I had a horrible experience. And some of these people, literally, RJ, I have met because I do events and things. I have to be more social, right? I'm really a
Yeah.
homebody for real. But I also, my other side is I'm a social butterfly because I'm hosting things. I'm hosting people. I talk to a lot of people. A lot of people come to me for advice and resources. So I just recently learned about like someone that I had like close to me, offering things to, had them all in my house, and then find out they a whole, like, you know a little cuckoo. Okay, so like I was not aware. You know what I mean? Like that's the reality. Is some people, it's not like you walking around with your papers or like stamp on your forehead. Like you don't have a warning label printed on you on your person to
Yeah.
know this the psychological issues that people carrying with them, like the real, mental and emotional things that people are carrying with them. Like you just don't, I'm talking about like not even if you're a person carrying that stuff. I'm talking about for the people who you don't know who you really coming in touch with sometimes. Again, this can happen anywhere. It happens in the states. It happens, it can be a coworker or whoever too. But yeah, it's just things like that. It doesn't like really escape you. So I would think that people should really consider just like just even your process, like I said, letting things go. Maybe that person, you get bad vibes, you get weird vibes or whatever. Like, okay, just let it go. You ain't gotta go spreading bad news about this person and making assumptions and you know, because we see that too. You see people trying to tear down other folks' business and stuff because of their issues and things like that
Energy
happen
is
sometimes,
important.
but you gotta let it roll off your back. Let it
Energy is
roll.
important. Energy is important. Setting your energy before you go to move abroad. I want you to
Mm,
take that, the people that are watching this. Set your energy before you move abroad. Be intentional about what you're looking for. That way, because it's going to waver. I tell people when it comes to looking for what you're looking for, what your expectations are, to write it down because you might forget when you run into that challenge. But if you have it written down and a place to reference, once you go back and you say, okay, well, this is a challenge and things get a little weird and the energy's off. Okay, well, where was I set when I made this move? Where was I looking and thinking once I made this? Because energy is really one of the only things I tell people. Life is really simple once you realize everything is energy. You looking for resources, you're looking for an energy that can guide you. If you guys go hang out with your friends or your family, you're looking for the positive energy and that goosebumps feeling you get when you like, man, I seen my friends in so long. Everything is energy. You walk into a room and you're like, there's something happening here. The energy's off. And people don't realize that all this is just energy exchanges. So when you are not only just navigating moving abroad, but even navigating just where you are today in the United States, realize that your energy needs to be set in a certain way. Realize that the fix of what you're where you are in your life is not with relocation. The scenery, it can change, but my dad told me at a young age, you're gonna take you wherever it is that you go, whether it's Philadelphia,
mhm.
Atlanta, South Florida, Medellin, Colombia. You are you, and that implies you as well. If you have an old head tell you that, you are you, and the energy that you are supposed to be carrying yourself with, especially you want to stay in the United States. Cool. I ain't got to really deal with you unless you're gonna run into the airport, and I already know how airport energy is. But when you
Right.
say that I want to be a person that wants to move abroad, I want to relocate, you're saying I want to work well with others. I want somebody to accept me with all my challenges and everything else and see how I can be of impact to the place that I'm going. You're not saying I'm leaving America and they better have it the way I want it when I get there. You're not saying everybody better be ready for the diva or the devo to step into the room and be graced with their presence. We're not doing that over here. And the people that are doing that are end up going back home where that is safe and comfortable. And not safe like danger. I mean safe like nobody's energy is going to be here for it. So the
Yeah.
nice conversation around community is not just to talk about what we've got coming up in the next couple of weeks, but more so to remind you what you remember, what you the feeling, that cousin feeling, that time at grandma's house, auntie's house, when everything used to be okay before it got a little too hectic. It can exist if you are ready for it and if you are open. Now I know what we do have coming up in the next couple of weeks is it's a week. It's a week of events that are designed to help those that are looking to move abroad that will be in Colombia. So if you will be in Medellin, Colombia, the week of February 16th through the 22nd, we will be doing some very specific things, both myself as well as Michelee, that will are designed to help you get real boots on the ground and understand what we do, how we live like a local, how we live our normal daily life. So One of the things we'll be doing is a relocation seminar that will be taking place at Machiavelli's. We'll have immigration lawyers, we'll have the visa experts, we'll have the healthcare people in the building. We're also going to be bringing one of the unique things about the healthcare is that this person will allow the American expats to navigate both Colombian healthcare as well as United States healthcare. We're also going to have parents in the building as well as a military vet that will allow you to help navigate if you are a military vet looking for Medellin, Colombia, what that looks like. That same day, what we'll also be doing, Michelee will be hosting a local fruit market tour, which allows you to come taste a lot of these different fruits that we have down here and shop like a local because $100 bag of groceries don't exist in Colombia unless you go to Carulla, then you might run into some outrageous. But we have that week. We also will be doing our 3 days of neighborhood and apartment tours. So anybody that is in Medellin and looking at Poblado, Sabaneta, Envigado, Laureles, these things will be best served with you turning doorknobs, seeing what apartments look like, seeing where to go for banks, co-working spaces, malls, grocery stores, which ones to go to. Michelee will also be doing a paint and sip that weekend. That will be Thursday, February 19th. If you guys have not known, after almost 56 minutes, Michelee is the Medellin Martha Stewart. So if you have the opportunity to go to any of her craft workshops that she does down here, you guys are always going to be for a treat. We're doing something specific with that paint and sip because it is a custom leather bag tag night. So you guys are coming down here. You got to have some luggage. You'll be able to get something cool to take home and remember the time down here with us.
Yes, a
And
nice little keepsake.
yes. And lastly, I think we have two big events. One is another cooking class. We do have one tomorrow. If you happen to be here in Medellin, reach out to us ASAP. Let us know if you will be here. But February 20th, we will be with TV's Master Chef, Chef Diorlin. Make sure you get your tickets. They are available. All of this, what I am talking about for Medellin Relocation Week, is available at moodtravelabroad.com. I think it's in the background, so you guys can go there and get your tickets for all of the events. And we end the weekend with something really important. We talked about community. We talked about impacting the community. We will be in Community 13 in here in Medellin volunteering. So family friendly. It is family friendly. Kids just need to be over 5 years old. You guys can come out and help us volunteer with each other, the community. Not only, I believe it is Sam Impresando. I don't Paz. I think that's the full name, San Impresando y Paz, as well as Digital Nomads for Good. We are coming together as a collective community to help impact. So we're looking for at least 20 people on ground in Medellin, Colombia. We are going to be doing activities with the kids. I'm talking about sports. Michelee is going to be doing some craft workshops
Craft.
with them.
Mhm.
We'll be doing some games with them. It's going to be a great, fun time to just come out and enjoy yourselves, as well as give back to a community that is 100% embracing us while we're here. So you guys can go to moodtravelabroad.com, get connected to all of the Medellin Relocation Week resources. If you are here tomorrow, make sure you go there as well. Get your ticket to the cooking class. You also, Michelee, you have something this Saturday. Am I not mistaken?
Yeah, I have some craft workshops that I'm doing. I did, even though I'm in another country, it's Black History Month wherever I go, it follows me. So I have some Black History Month themed workshops. I have one with our friend Mary. She's
Nice.
doing some custom art, and it's an embroidery workshop. I'm actually taking that one virtual.
Okay.
And then I have some Valentine's, Galentine's themed workshops next week too. So, I stay
That's
busy over
amazing.
here. So
Where can they find that info at?
my Instagram, first of all, actually, I think I should direct you to my craft Instagram. My craft page is unbox dot by Michmosh. It's kind of long. I need to change it maybe. But yeah, you can follow me on my main page because I also post them on there. So my normal one at Mishmash World, Mishmash underscore world, MICHMOSH underscore world. But yeah, I post the things there. I'll be, giving some updates and things like that, staying busy, keeping other folks busy. And again, my Sewing club. I'm doing a monthly club. Every month is going to be something different. This first one starting this weekend is a sewing club. I'm super excited about it. I just got somebody since we've been on this call who wanted to sign up. It's the last day to sign up. You know how folks be late. But yeah,
Yes, I do.
I'm excited. Like I'm sharing skills. You can come and learn skills. You can practice things. Get a new hobby. Okay, this is a part of
Come
that
on.
community building that we talking about. So maybe you didn't get to learn from your grandmother like I got to learn from mine how to sew and how to crochet, how to do all these things. So I'm here,
Nah,
to
that's
help
right.
to help you do that too. But yeah, I'm super excited about it. It's something that makes me
Yeah.
happy. So,
So if you guys are in Medellin this weekend, we got a couple things for you. If you guys will be here the weekend of the 16th through the 22nd, there's a full lineup of events, community as well as relocation based, so you can really figure out, is this a life that I can live? I don't know. Can you? Maybe you figured it out something tonight that you didn't have in your relocation toolkit. That community was going to be a little bit more important than the influencers told you. Well, we're here to not only bring you that conversation, but all of the conversations that you need to wrap your head around. Is this life for me? Should I leave the United States and give up everything I know for what it is I have a question mark on? Hopefully, what we provide on this platform gives you some of those question marks answered. My job on is to continue to have these conversations next week, and I got to message you about this, Michelee. But next week we will be having a special conversation. We will be having not only Americans on that are living abroad, including Miss Michelet, probably 99%, but also we're going to
mhm.
bring on some of our Afro-Colombian friends that are going to get on, and we're going to talk about ethical tourism and ethical
Yes.
relocation because woo, get hot in the
Important.
hot seat.
It's
Gets hot in the hot
important.
seat. So
Hmm.
we're going to get into what ethical relocation looks like because you guys would be surprised how people are moving and who they become on the other side of the TSA. My job is to prepare you so that way you do
Yeah,
not have to go back home if you don't want
you
to.
don't get
Make
got.
sure you guys
Okay.
are doing me a favor. If you are watching the replay this, make sure you are sharing this with somebody. Jump into the comments. Let me know what you guys need to hear, want to hear, have questions on about the relocation process, even if it comes specifically to Colombia. Once you go to moodtravelabroad.com, I need you to do a couple of things. One, take the test. The test is going to tell you, ask you some questions, it's going to tell you where you should probably go or at least have on your radar. Two, download every free resource that is available for you. They're all put there because you need this information. Once you get past the free resources and you're ready to start moving forward, go back to moodtravelabroad.com, book a consultation. Let's have a conversation about you. And from there, we will get you into the pipeline of how we take you from on your couch in the United States to down the street from Michelee and I right here in Medellin, Colombia, or wherever it is that you guys have on your heart or your destination list. Please make sure you guys are staying safe, staying warm, and staying sane because America is a lot. And I watch you guys from the outside. I appreciate
We
you as
praying for
always. I appreciate you as always, Michelee, for being available for the community. Thank you guys. Make sure you guys are going to sign up for the events that we have available. They're designed with you in mind. I will see you guys possibly tomorrow. I might jump on depending on what it is that's going on in the world. But y'all let me know where you guys need me. Michelee, you got anything for them?
That's it. I'm praying for y'all. Okay, stay warm, stay sane. Just like RJ said, see you on the other side.
The other side. I'll see y'all later. Y'all be safe. My name is RJ, and I've been